Yes, and this is look. I said before, the big, talented man will always beat the small talent.
However, the bout between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez is one of the most anticipated bouts in boxing. A bout that may define their age has piqued the imagination of both world champions. In particular, Crawford has demonstrated a commitment to upping his weight and taking on Canelo on his terms.
Crawford throwing his hat in to want to fight Canelo at 168.
I mean, everybody wants to fight Canelo. It's the money fight, you know what I mean? I think even Inoue would come up to fight Canelo. Canelo wanted to fight him. I mean, I don't want to see Crawford to fight.
Given that both boxers are looking for well-known opponents and there aren't any big fights planned right now, Canelo has recently showed greater receptivity to genuine proposals, despite his prior indifference to the idea, declaring that he would not be given credit for such a victory. The likelihood that this fight will take place in 2025 has considerably increased. Despite his tense relationship with Canelo Alvarez, Oscar de la Hoya has expressed his opinions about a potential confrontation between Terence Crawford and the Mexican superstar. Oscar de la Hoya has confidently weighed in on the hypothetical matchup between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, emphasizing that his opinion is unbiased. The former world champion believes Canelo would have a clear advantage over Crawford, particularly at 154 pounds, citing Canelo's size and power as major factors. De La Hoya pointed out that Crawford didn't appear particularly dominant when facing larger opponents, and considering Canelo's natural weight and strength, he would be even more formidable. De La Hoya stressed that it's extremely rare for a smaller fighter to defeat a larger, strong opponent in boxing history. He argued that despite Crawford's renowned technical ability and punching power, the physical challenge of facing Canelo, a beast at 154, would be insurmountable. His assessment underscores the difficulty Crawford would face in such a matchup.
To go, man. Go back, get one of those guys out of there, man. Go back, start there. That's where you start. Go back to your roots, bro. Get some of that humble pie, bro. Go back, start where you started.
Although some observers think Terence Crawford is capable of competing with Canelo, the size and power difference may be the deciding factor. The future of this possible conflict is still up in the air. The likelihood of an agreement will depend on a number of variables, such as contract talks and tactical choices made by both sides, as both fighters have current obligations. Few fighters have faced both Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez in the same ring. Amir Khan was the first guy to do so in a professional ring, losing to the two via stoppage, and he has already shared his opinions on how a Crawford vs. Canelo fight may play out.
Terence Crawford will beat Canelo anytime. Anytime.
Middleweight contender Jermell Davis, who has sparred with both Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, recently shared his thoughts on how a fantasy matchup between the two would unfold. Speaking to Mill City Boxing, Davis expressed that he believes it would be an extremely tough challenge for Crawford, backing Canelo to emerge victorious. Davis noted Canelo's physical strength, saying Canelo is a big guy. It's going to be a lot. He also emphasized that Canelo's ability to take punches would play a significant role in the fight. You're not going to hurt Canelo. I don't think Crawford can hurt him with one punch, Davis explained. While he conceded that Crawford might be able to land a cut or cause some discomfort to Canelo's body, he suggested that overall, the Mexican champion's durability and power would make him the favorite in a potential clash.
I mean, this is a tough fight. You know, the top WBC, the top people ranked at WBC are fighting each other. So I mean, it should be an easy call. If I can't get those fights, then I'll go up to fight Bivol, or I'll go try to, I set my conquest on 170.
It will be a difficult effort for him to go to the body while wearing flesh-on gloves. Canelo is a fierce fighter. He uses traps and maneuvers. Nothing is impossible in boxing, but if I had to wager, I would place my money on Canelo. Canelo is fantastic, but I'm not disparaging Crawford in any way. Is Canelo able to stop him? He is a larger man. I believe a single blow will enough. David Benavidez has expressed his thoughts on a potential confrontation between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez.
Remember sizes of Terence Crawford?
Welterweight.
If he big, actually...
Maybe he's probably...
In his last bout, Bud advanced to the 154 PBS division and defeated Israel Madrio by decision. As a result, he now owns the WBO interim super welterweight belt. Crawford has a stellar 410 professional record. Conversely, Canelo is among the best boxers of the current age. In his most recent bout, he defeated Edgar Berlanga at super middleweight. The Mexican legend, who turned 62 on February 2nd, praised Crawford's style as a professional but questioned if his strength would carry over to higher weight classes to face Canelo. Bud would have to step up 2 weight classes.
I love Crawford. He's a good friend. You know, we reach out to each other. We've traveled the world through the amateur program. He see me beat people up. I see him beat people up. He see me get beat up. I got beat up. We both.
In a recent interview, Benavidez expressed high praise for Crawford, calling him one of the best technical fighters he's ever seen, especially since moving to 154 lbs. However, Benavidez pointed out that Crawford seemed to lack the power he once had at 147 lbs, especially considering the additional weight classes he would need to move up to for a potential clash with Canelo. Benavidez acknowledged Crawford's unique skill set but emphasized that weight classes should be respected. Regarding a potential showdown with Canelo, Benavidez highlighted that he has spent most of his career at 147 lbs and would need to move up several weight classes to meet Canelo at super middleweight. While Benavidez has long been seen as a fighter who could challenge Canelo, a fight between the two hasn't yet materialized, despite the excitement and demand for this dream
But Terence Crawford now is one of the
matchup between the two Mexican fighters. On February 1st, the quick-handed Benavidez will face David Morrell in his upcoming bout. Boxing fans across the world are captivated by the prospect of a fight between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. Crawford has publicly stated his wish to fight the Mexican super middleweight champion following his convincing victory over Errol Spence Jr. Although stepping up 2 weight classes to take on Canelo would be a tremendous task for Crawford, who is largely considered to be the finest pound-for-pound boxer in the world, the path to this historic fight will not be simple. Former super middleweight world champion Demetrius Andrade is involved in this much-awaited bout. Andrade spoke highly of Terence Crawford during an interview with Fight Hub TV, acknowledging Crawford's immense talent and skill. The two fighters have shared a long history, having traveled the world through the amateur program, witnessing each other's victories in the ring. However, Andrade also highlighted a key advantage Canelo Alvarez would hold in a potential matchup with Crawford: his size and experience at higher weight classes. Andrade referred to Canelo as a big, bad wolf who is capable of dominating throughout the fight. While he recognizes Crawford's skills, Andrade emphasized that Canelo's ability to absorb punches, evade power shots, and his agility set him apart. Canelo knows how to move too. He's not like a robot. Andrade said, acknowledging that Canelo's experience and adaptability at different weights give him a significant edge. It's clear Andrade believes the fight would be tough for Crawford, especially considering Canelo's superior size and movement. Even though I don't think Crawford can defeat Canelo, I still believe he can put up a decent fight, and I will spend the entire day cheering for Canelo. However, some other folks believe Crawford is simply skilled enough to hurt Canelo regardless of the weight differential. Andrade. B-Val was contacted to provide his thoughts on a highly anticipated boxing contest between Terence Crawford, considered one of the best in the sport today, and Canelo Alvarez. When I first entered the boxing gym, one of the key lessons was to respect weight classes. But one fighter who stands out to me is Terence, one of my favorites. He has exceptional skills, and I believe he could show us something special in the ring. Terence's coach already knows what to do to prepare him, and together they'll find the right strategy. Recently, Dimitri Bivol was asked about a potential fight between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. Bivol responded that he could imagine Crawford winning, showing how highly he values Crawford's abilities, even against a naturally bigger opponent like Canelo. Bivol also mentioned that Crawford's ring intelligence could give him an edge. It's clear that Crawford is among the best fighters in the world right now, and his boxing IQ is something that sets him apart from many others in the sport. Timothy Bradley Jr., a Hall of Famer and ESPN boxing expert, believes that Terence Crawford would defeat Saul Canelo Alvarez. Bradley made a case for Crawford on his YouTube channel. Bradley mentioned the weight, and it's true that Crawford only switched from welterweight to 154 pounds, while Alvarez has been fighting at 168 pounds since late 2020. He will knock him out, I see. How long has it been since Canelo knocked someone out? It's been a long time. The last time Alvarez stopped Caleb Plant was in November 2021. Since his loss to Dimitri Bivol, Canelo Alvarez has struggled to knock out established opponents, including a 40-year-old Gennady Golovkin. He's also gone the distance with fighters many consider below his skill level, like John Ryder, Jaime Monge, and Edgar Berlanga. Jamal Charlo, a natural junior middleweight, also went the distance with Canelo, though he was clearly outclassed by the super middleweight champion. Bradley criticized those who think Crawford would be easily knocked out by Canelo, pointing out that just recently Alexander Usyk faced Tyson Fury, who was 50 pounds heavier. Canelo is similar in height to Crawford and isn't naturally a 168-pounder, which calls into question the idea of a straightforward knockout. Usyk is an exceptional fighter, but so is Crawford. Great fighters like Crawford know how to adapt and figure out challenges in the ring.
Terence Crawford says he wants to fight Canelo. He's changed his tune. He said he's willing to move up 3 weight divisions. To me, that's kind of crazy, but that just shows you, like, man, the dog that's in Terence Crawford. If